Good morning students. Today we will study our second chapter in social study, that is parallels and meridians. Now students, you all have previously studied about the globe. A globe is a round model of the earth. It shows the shape, size of the continents as well as the water bodies. Now students, just take one example. If you want to show the direction for your home, then what we will do? You would simply give the direction in that particular landmark, and after giving the landmark you will show the direction with reference to that particular landmark that you all have taken. Similarly students, for getting the place which we want to know on the earth's surface, we have some of the particular landmarks, or we can say we have some of the imaginary lines which we take as a consideration, or we can say we can take it as a reference for showing or for locating any particular place. To find any place on a globe, we will take the help of the imaginary lines which run from the east-west direction or from the north to south directions. These lines are known as latitudinal lines or the longitudinal lines. Students, our next topic is the parallels or latitudes. A set of horizontal imaginary lines which run from the east to west directions are known as the parallels or the lines of latitudes. On this given image, students, you can see that the lines running in the east-west direction. Where is the east? This is the east and this is the west. The lines which are running from east to the west directions are known as the parallels or the lines of the latitudes. Now students, you can see only this part of the globe. You can't see the back side of the globes. These round circle lines are moving to the back side also, and the whole circle you can see is the latitudinal line. Now students, there is a one line that is known as the equator, which is also known as the longest line, which divides the earth into two equal parts. The above part is known as the northern hemisphere, and the part which is downwards to the south pole is known as the southern hemisphere. Now students, equator is the longest line. Let us learn about some of the facts of latitude. Students, you can see so many lines which are running in the east-west direction. Those lines are known as the latitudinal lines. There are 181 parallels or lines of latitude in number. The second fact is the longest line is the equator, and that longest line is also known as the Great Circle. The third fact is that all parallel lines are full circle except North Pole and South Pole. In this image, students, you can only see this part of the globe. The back side of the globe you can't see. These parallel lines are running around the globe. So you can say it is making a whole round circle. So you can only see a point in the North Pole and a point in the South Pole. So only the North Pole and the South Pole you can see doesn't form any full circle. Students, the fourth fact is that as we move away from the equator, where is the equator? This is the equator. This is the longest line of the latitude, and as soon as we move away from the equator, the lines or the parallels, the latitudinal lines will going to keeps on decreasing. You can see this is the longest line. This is little bit smallest, this is smallest in comparison to the this one. So we can say that if we move away from the equator, the lines will keeps on decreasing. Students, all the parallel lines are at the equal distance. Here you can see all the latitudinal lines are drawn at the equal distance. At last, we all know that parallel lines do not meet each other. In this also, lines of latitudes do not meet each other at any cost. Students, the next is the number of parallels. Now, there are 181 parallels. The latitude of a place is the angular distance of that place north or south of the equator, that is measured from the center of the earth, and in the center it is given the equator. Alright, it is measured as in degrees, as the equator is the starting point. This is the equator and this is the starting point. It is considered as the 0 degree. And the angular distance from the poles from the equator is 90 degree. So we can say North Pole 90 degree north latitude and the South Pole is the 90 degree south latitude. Students, the important parallels of latitudes. The equator is the most important parallel of latitude. There are some of the important parallels given. Tropic of Cancer, which is 23.5 degree north. This is Tropic of Cancer. Next is the Tropic of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degree south. This is Tropic of Capricorn. Next is the Arctic Circle, which is 66.5 degree north. This is. Next is the Antarctic Circle, which is 66.5 degree south. These were some of the important parallels of latitude. Students, next is the meridians or lines of longitudes. A set of vertical imaginary lines which run from the north to south directions are known as the meridians or the lines of longitudes. For the more understanding, let us look at the image. Students, here you can see the lines running in the north-south directions. These lines are known as the longitudinal lines or the meridians, and the line which is dividing the earth into two equal parts is known as the prime meridian. These lines, these vertical lines coming from the north pole and joining at the south pole, these lines are known as the longitudinal lines, and the middle line which is cutting the earth into two equal parts is known as the prime meridian. The prime meridian is also known as the Greenwich meridian. The prime meridian divides the earth into two equal parts. One is in the east direction and one is in the west direction. This east direction is known as the eastern hemisphere and the other part towards the west direction is known as the western hemisphere. Now students, here are some of the facts given below regarding the meridians. The fact number 1 is all meridians are of the same length. You can see the meridians, the several vertical lines. These all lines are of the same length. Each of the meridian cuts the parallel lines at 90 degree. You can see any of the meridians. It is cutting the parallels at 90 degree. The maximum distance between the meridian is at the equator. You can see the maximum distance is between the equator. This is the equator, and you can see the maximum distance regarding the meridian is in the equator. The last fact is that as soon as the meridians, the lines of the meridians goes away from the equator and goes nearer to the pole, the meridians will get to be decreased. You can see this is the equator. These meridians are moving to the North Pole. Sooner and sooner it is getting decreased. The lines of latitudes always meet at a fixed particular point, that is, first is in the North Pole and second is in the South Pole. Now students, the last topic is that how you can locate places on the globe. The latitude and the longitudinal lines form a grid. Here you can see these boxes. These boxes are known as the grids. The point at which latitude and longitude meet. This is the longitude and this is the latitude. Here you can see these lines are forming, these lines are meeting to each other. These are the points which help us to locate different places. Alright students, at last just have a little recall about the whole topic. A globe is a round model of the earth. For locating any place or finding any place on the globe, we need to know how to use the imaginary lines. The imaginary lines which run horizontally from east to west directions are known as latitudes or parallels. And the lines which run from north to south direction in a vertical way, those lines are known as meridians or the lines of longitudes. The equator is the longest line of the latitude. There are 181 parallel lines or the lines of latitude, whereas there are 360 meridians which are drawn on the globe. The 180 degree of the longitude is known as the international date line. And at last, the network of parallels as well as the meridians which form on the globe is known as the grid, and grid help us to locate different places. All the very best students. I hope you all have understood the topic. Keep on doing hard work for achieving the success. Thank you.